reacting to Why It Sucks to Be Born as a Mutant by Walla Wallace. Isn't it Wallace? Wallace. Alright, let's go.
You look normal
Let's go.
now, but boy, just you wait. At first, everything seems fine. You grow up in a regular neighborhood with regular parents, living a regular life. Sure, sometimes there's a Galactus attack or half the population turns to dust, but there's people to deal with that kind of stuff. But once you hit puberty, you
Hold on, let me get my life. Yes.
start to notice some changes.
Mm.
And not the ones you're thinking of. You wake up with a fever, and your parents brush it off as a cold and let you stay home from school. But over the course of a couple days, it only gets hotter and hotter, until one night you wake up at 3 AM with your bed sheets on fire. You jump out of bed quickly and stomp on the sheets to put out the flames. Phew! That was close. Crisis averted. You look down at your hands and see what looks like tiny flames shrinking and disappearing. Weird.
Is he like the Human Torch?
But then...
What the heck?
Uh-oh. The walls blacken, the smoke detector blares, and your parents rush in to find you standing there in the middle of it all. Welcome to mutant puberty. At first, your parents try to convince themselves it's all just some freak accident. Maybe the wiring in your room was faulty. Maybe they left a candle burning somewhere. But then it happens again and again. Until finally they have to face the truth. Their child isn't normal. Unfortunately, in this world, that comes with a lot of prejudice and fear. So from that point on, your parents start treating you differently. Their hugs become a little...
Now let me put the light on. Oh boy, we good. Alright.
more hesitant, and they start to sit further away from you at the breakfast table. You overhear quiet conversations at night,
That's
with your mother
actually a bad
crying
life.
and your father talking about what to do, like you're some sort of problem to be solved. For them, it's only a matter of time before the neighbors find out. And they do. Your family stops getting invited to barbecues, the neighborhood kids don't come over to play anymore, and the next thing you know, your dad's lost his job because somehow the whole town found out he has a mutant in his house. You see, this world is full of superpowered people, but for some reason, everybody hates mutants. Mutants are humans who are born with what's known as the X gene. The same way certain genes will determine your height or hair color, the X gene causes you to have superpowers, completely naturally. Meaning, unlike Spider-Man or Captain America, you don't need any kind of serum or genetic modification to get your powers. You're just born with them. Don't ask me why it's different, but the people here love Spider-Man. And they hate mutants, seeing it as wrong and unnatural.
Racist.
The power you develop is different from person to person and depends on the rest of your genetics. It typically shows itself around puberty or can be activated through immense stress and trauma. Some mutants...
Chat, if y'all were a mutant, what would be like your powers? Like me, I don't wanna be one. I'm good, bro. Bro, in the comics, the mutants are literally they're all of them are killed, bro. What the heck?
Mutants are latent and may never develop powers throughout their entire lifetime. But that's definitely not you. You're now part of the most hated minority on Earth.
Literally, they're the most hated people. They're literally the most hated people on Earth. So literally, if you are a mutant, you're like, I don't, man, you gonna be. I don't know. Depending on your power, they might really like you or hate you.
Your parents still love you, but they're scared, both for you and of you. One day, the wrong person finds out about you, and an angry mob shows up in the middle of the night. They shout words like monster and abomination as they surround your house. They throw things through the window and try to break in through the front door. But just as they manage to get it open, they completely freeze. A bold man in a well-pressed suit wheels his way through the crowd. That's Professor Charles Xavier, or Professor X. You've seen him on TV before, talking about mutant rights. He puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "Come with me. There's a place for you." Your parents didn't take much convincing, and just like that, you leave everything behind. Xavier tells you that you're special and takes you to a school for kids like you. When you arrive, it's a
Kids like
massive,
you.
sprawling mansion in the middle of nowhere with half of it under construction. It turns out that because of all the supervillain attacks, these facilities are almost constantly being
Magneto.
rebuilt. Apart from that, it looks like something out of a fairy tale. But as you walk through those front gates, you realize something. This place isn't a school, it's a fortress. They've got security technology that doesn't even exist yet. Like, literally. It's from the future. Thanks, Cable. Kids your age wander the halls. Some look just like you, and others look a little less like you. A girl phases through a wall, completely ignoring doors. A boy with blue skin and fangs swings across the rafters. A set of twins sit in the corner, conversing without speaking a single word out loud. This place is full of all the freaks and outcasts every other human seems to be scared of. You're assigned a room and meet your new roommates. A
Okay.
guy with gills on his neck and another one who's completely invisible. Awesome.
Bro, they still haven't told us what is my power, bro. Like, do I have power? Am I like the Human Torch? Because all so far I'm just hot.
You've made it to Xavier's School of Gifted Youngsters. Congratulations, you're officially a part of the most dysfunctional boarding school in existence. Sure, it's got state of the art facilities, but they tend to get blown up every other week. And don't
Okay.
even think about complaining about your living conditions, because unlike a normal school, here you'll be expected to help with the constant rebuilding. It doesn't matter that your mutation is fire based.
Yeah, just fire.
Grab a hammer. Not every kid has laser eyes or telekinesis, so if you can't fly or fix things with your mind, well, better start learning how to mix cement. At most schools, gym class means running a few laps or playing dodgeball. But here, you get thrown into a high tech combat simulator built by aliens. The danger room is where you'll learn to control your powers, which really means you'll be fighting holograms of killer robots, sentinels, or if you're really lucky, a simulated version of Apocalypse himself. And there's no sitting this one out. Even if your power is something useless, like can slightly glow in the dark, you're going in. Your instructors are legendary battle hardened X-Men. Wolverine, Cyclops, and if you're really unlucky, Emma Frost, who will personally roast you if you mess up. And she will know when you mess up.
Emma Frost all day. Emma Frost all day, boy. Wait, no, no, let's not do this. Let's do comics. Let's actually do comics. Nah, it's still Emma Frost. I don't care. I think Wolverine would do worse.
She's literally reading your thoughts. But hey, at least you're learning valuable skills.
Well, she can read your thoughts. You know what? So we going with Wolverine, man. We're going with Logan.
Like how to throw a punch or how to avoid getting folded in half by an 8-foot red Hulk. You're not training for some after school club, you're training for survival. Because at Xavier's, you're not just a student, you're a soldier. Technically, Xavier's is a school, but good luck focusing on algebra when the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is attacking the front lawn. You'll get the usual subjects math, English, science, but there's a catch. Every class is centered around mutant survival. Biology, hope you like learning about mutant genetics instead of frog dissections. History, it's 90%
Bro, we get frog dissections, bro.
about mutant genetics instead of frog
Nah, frog life matters, bro. Why I remember doing this in science, bro?
dissections.
What?
History, it's 90% lessons about mutant history. And forget about skipping self defense training because that's not an elective. You will learn how to fight because one day you need it. Oh, and let's not forget about the MedLab internship. Every student is required to put in 72 hours working in the school's medical bay because, let's face it, injuries here are inevitable. Whether it's a training accident or an actual supervillain attack, you'll be patching up classmates like a paramedic before you even graduate. And you think human roommates are bad? Try sharing a room with someone who sleepwalks through the walls, or a guy who has to sleep in a water tank. If your mutation involves anything dangerous, expect to be put in a room with reinforced walls. And seeing you have fire powers, that's definitely you, buddy. Some mutants get along, but others not so much. There are kids here who can read minds, some shapeshift, some turn invisible, you name it. And some of them are way too comfortable using these powers for pranks. Ever had your mattress phase through the floor in the middle of the night? You will. There's no reassignments either. Xavier believes in learning to get along, which means if your roommate steals your stuff while invisible, that's something you have to work out. Good luck.
Yeah.
Let's get one thing straight. Xavier's is not a safe place. Sure, it's a school, but it also happens to be a magnet for every mutant-hating group on the planet. The Sentinels have
Outside, there's like some manifestation. Outside, they're just people just throwing stuff.
attacked here more times than anyone
Days without. Okay.
can count. Villains like Juggernaut, Sabretooth, and the entire Brotherhood of evil mutants have all paid the school multiple visits. And when they
Shit.
do, you're expected to fight. Even if you survive the villains, there's still the less than occasional world-ending crisis.
Channel 6.
Some days you wake up to find out that reality itself has been rewritten, or that the universe is collapsing. And no, you never get a heads up. Over time, eventually, you realize something. You're being groomed for a war. At first, you believed in Professor Xavier's dream, a world where mutants and humans could coexist. But now, you're not so sure. You're starting to notice things, like how no matter how much the X-Men fight for peace, humans still hate mutants. Every time they
Crazy.
save the world, they get blamed for the destruction. Every time they save people, they're called monsters. It's never enough. You've seen your friends get injured, some even die, all for a world that doesn't want them. Magneto,
Wait, how old are we?
the head of the Brotherhood of Mutants, has always said that mutants don't have to suffer or beg for acceptance.
Returning to the dark side.
He says mutants
We are to all my days. Oh no, we're turning to the dark side.
should rule, and you're kind of starting to listen. You start asking around, and some of the older students tell you
Yo,
about a
we gotta
meeting
switch
place.
up.
One night, you sneak out of the mansion and find yourself in an abandoned warehouse,
Yeah.
face to face
What
with the
happened?
Brotherhood of Mutants. They
Oh,
talk
man.
about taking power instead of waiting for humans to give it to them. They tell you that Xavier's dream is a fantasy and remind you that humans will never accept you. And deep down, you already know they're right. For the first time in your life, you feel like you have a choice. And when Magneto himself steps forward, offering his hand, you take it. You pack your stuff and leave the mansion in the middle of the night. You join the Brotherhood of Mutants, and now you're standing shoulder to shoulder with people who don't beg for acceptance. They take it. No more worrying about whether humans
GG.
approve of you, trying to control your powers to make yourself less threatening. Forget about all that stuff.
Wait, do I even have super strength? It's like I don't even have super strength. I just have fire with no super strength.
Xavier told you. With the Brotherhood, you're encouraged to be as powerful as you can be. Magneto tells you that the world belongs to mutants, that it's only a matter of time before you're the ones in control. The Brotherhood sends you on your first mission, destroying a laboratory that's trying to enhance humans. When you get there, you hesitate for maybe half a second, but then you let loose, burning the whole place to the ground. You were always told to be careful with your flames and to control them, but not here. Here, they tell you to burn. Next, you torch an entire convoy carrying mutant prisoners. Then you turn an anti-mutant rally into a firestorm. With every battle, every mission, the guilt fades. And when the X-Men finally show up to stop you, you don't fear. You smile. Because for the first time, you're winning. Over the years, you rise in the Brotherhood's ranks to become a warrior and a leader. Someone who's respected, and more than that, someone who's feared. But then you start to notice something you've never really questioned before. The Brotherhood talks about protecting mutants, but what they're really doing isn't protection, it's conquest. One night, you and the Brotherhood attack Xavier's school. Some of your old classmates are now X-Men, and they try to stop you. Nothing new, really. Your old roommate with the gills catches you burning the entire east side of the mansion and runs at you. You want to stop him, but if you point your blast at him, it would surely kill him. So you leave your hands where they are for a moment and let him hit you. Then as you start to fight back, a blade goes through his chest. He's stabbed from behind by another mutant in the Brotherhood, who has knives that come out of his fists. His body drops to the floor, and you retreat with the rest of the Brotherhood. But something's different now. These people are no longer your friends. When you get back to base, Magneto himself pulls you aside and says,
It's time.
he has a secret weapon, a disease that only affects humans and not mutants, and he plans to unleash it tomorrow. Magneto's forces descend on Washington, D.C., and you're right there with them. It's a massacre. Your flames turn the night sky orange as the city burns around you. You see terrified civilians running, then the X-Men show up.
Wait, what? Who are we actually? Let me see. You. Don't show Phoenix. Wait, this might be us. We are Pyro. Okay. Is he evil? Bro, Pyro is a. Yeah, this is We're Pyro. I guess. Wait, Pyro is a villain, right? Wait, is Pyro a villain? Oops, we're here. Yes, Pyro is a. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I saw. It says Magneto. I bet.
The rest of your old
I guess this
classmates,
is
the ones you
Pyro's
used to
story.
spar with in the danger room and helped you control your powers when you thought you'd never get the hang of it. They're looking at you like a monster, and after all these years, you realize they're right. You're on the wrong side. Killing all these humans isn't what you signed up for. This is a war, and you're helping the wrong people win it. You turn against the Brotherhood, and you unleash everything. Your flames turn against them, cutting a path through the battlefield. Magneto realizes what you've done and doesn't hesitate. You feel your body snap as metal crushes you from all sides.
We're
The pain
dead.
is unbearable, but you don't stop fighting. With one last breath, you make sure the X-Men get the upper hand. You reach out and burn the case carrying the virus, buying the X-Men just enough time to end the battle. And as your vision fades and your body collapses in the ruins of the city, you hear your old friends calling your name. You don't live to see the end of the war, but people remember your last stand. You may have lost your way, but in the end, you made the right choice.
R.I.P. Alright, man. Like and subscribe. Shout out to Wallace for this wonderful video. And peace out, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to leave a like. Actually, let me do it. Boom. Bye.